followed hope and its golden gleam, and its light led us across the oceans till we found the American dream.
Thank you for tuning in. My name is Ingrid Lemmy, and this is my show, American Dream. A show about people, their hopes, their dreams, their family heritage, and their unbelievable, wonderful realities. My guest today is a real, true fishing legend, and he says that's all what he knows, anything about fishing legend, Bob Tuma of Montauk. Thank you, guys. Mr. Bob Tuma, I am so delighted to have you on the show. And I don't think you would have been here if it wouldn't have been for the fact that I said, of course, you can just talk about fishing and fishing only, right?
Well, I didn't expect to be here for the rest of the afternoon either.
Mr. Tuma, can you tell us a little bit about your family? Where did your family come from? Do you remember that?
They come from Europe, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been around Czechoslovakia, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know the dates.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know on my grandmother's side, she came from there, and he came out of New York.
Mm.
Now, where he came from, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So on the other side, on the Tuma side, they were both from Europe. You know.
Both European.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did all those people actually end up in Montauk?
Well, I guess the fishing was good, and there used to be a lot of lobstering out here.
Yeah.
And they went into lobstering and stuff like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of started things off.
Yes.
And naturally, we were born around here, and we went to school here, so naturally we stayed here.
So you were born here?
I was born in Bayshore.
In Bayshore, okay.
And came back here.
Mm-hmm. And you grew up, born and bred on the East End.
Right.
Fishing and swimming in the ocean.
That's it, yeah.
And what about hunting? You did
Oh,
hunt?
we do hunt. Oh, sure.
Of course, right?
Oh, of course.
Because after all, somebody couldn't eat always only fish.
No, 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 no. We used to have deer,
Yeah.
rabbits, you know, all that
You
stuff.
used to eat rabbits too? Like,
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah,
How did you catch them? Or shoot
Shot
them?
'em.
Shot them?
yeah,
Rabbits?
yep.
Okay. And how did you prepare it? Like, you brought them to the butcher, or you did
No, no, no. We skin them, gut them, skin them,
Yeah?
cut them up in, you know, legs and backs,
Yeah, yeah.
fry them or whatever.
And that's it? Put them in a pot
Well,
and make a rabbit stew?
You could do that, or no, we used to fry, you know, fry them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was good.
Was pretty good.
Yeah.
But fish, especially fishing, was good. Mr. Tuma, you still know when Montauk, old Montauk, was in a different place, the town of Montauk.
Exactly, yeah.
Where was that then?
Oh God, that was right. Well, right on the, right on what we call the bay.
Yeah.
That's north of where the town is now, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we lived right there on the bay because when we were kids, we were swimming all the time, and you know, it was a great spot for kids.
And you probably did a lot of clamming too,
A
right?
lot of clamming, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's getting wiped out.
Hmm.
Too many people, I
Yeah,
guess.
Too many people, yes. Montauk has changed very,
Oh yeah,
very
I
much.
know. Yeah,
And many of the people don't know anything about the real fishing.
yeah.
Mr. Tuma, when was the first time you were allowed to go on a boat and do the real fishing, means the commercial part? That you would say, you know what, I'm going fishing now to get some big tunas or some of
Well,
those
we used to take charters,
Yeah?
and we set the times and where to go. You know, we knew where the fish were.
When was that? Was that 1940,
Oh my goodness.
50?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how
I would
much?
say 1950. Yeah.
1950. And how much was the charter then?
Oh my gosh, like $35.
Are you kidding me?
No,
$35? Woo! And they could take their fish home?
sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about ice? Did you have already then ice at the docks?
No.
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 How did they take their fish home then?
Well, they brought coolers,
Yeah.
you know, with ice or coolers, something in them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they.
But the coolers didn't look like the coolers today.
Oh, of course not. No.
How
no,
did they
no.
look?
How do they look?
They weren't plastic, right?
Of course not.
No.
No.
Were they wood or something from the wood? Don't remember.
I don't remember.
But 1950, I think you also met, wasn't that when you met your wife?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Was it love at the first sight?
I guess so.
At least from her side, it was love on
Yes,
the first sight.
yeah.
She told me.
Oh, she did?
Yep. She said she loved him right away. She
Good.
told me that. So then you guys had two girls.
Two girls, yeah.
Two girls. And Mr. Tuma was always fishing.
Mm-hmm.
There was always food at home, right?
Always food.
By the way, didn't they like fish, the girls?
Of course.
Yeah?
They had to.
Or because otherwise there wasn't anything else for breakfast, right?
No. No, we used to have cereal and everything like everybody else,
Yeah.
you know. Mm-hmm. We didn't have it for breakfast.
You built a wonderful home for your family. You guys
Yeah.
got an awesome, beautiful, beautiful home. But the fishing industry was for many years, it stayed the same. And there were many, many fishermen which you met along the line, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about, do you remember any of them who were fishing with you or next to you in the 50s and 60s?
Well, no, the boats have changed. Guys have retired.
Mm-hmm.
People that were used to fish are getting old. They don't come anymore.
Mm.
Once in a while you see somebody that would remember your name, you know. But other than that, no, it's all changed.
All changed,
Sure.
right. But the boats are still, are there still any boats left from the 50s and 60s or not really?
There's one, the Cricket.
The Cricket!
Yeah.
The Cricket is still around.
Yeah.
How cool
He
is that?
came up here. He brought the boat up here. He was going to put it up for auction.
Yeah.
And then he died.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
So that darn boat is still around
That one's still here.
because he died.
Right.
That is so funny. I mean, not that he died. That wasn't funny, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Now, the old days when you guys, you used to go fishing, is the bait different today than it was then?
No.
Same bait.
Same bait.
What was the bait then?
We use squid and clams.
Squid and clams. So basically, you guys had to go digging clams first?
No, people, that's another business, clamming.
See.
See, further down the island, in the polluted waters down there,
Yeah.
they do a lot of clamming down there, which is fine for bait.
Yeah.
It's not good to eat.
No.
So we used to use that.
Okay. So that's the one, and you would put the clams on the hook?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
But you had to cook it first or raw?
No, raw. Everything's raw.
Oh. Yeah, of
sure.
course. The fish wouldn't eat anything
No,
cooked.
of course not.
Yeah, but I am so sorry, Mr. Tuma, because I am really ignorant. I don't know much about
Oh.
fishing. I just am so delighted that I have a Montauk fishing legend on the show.
Oh,
And there is this movie what your daughter Debbie made, right? About all the Montauk fishermen. And they showed it, and it actually made it to the Long Island Film Festival.
right. Yep.
And there are all kinds of interesting people in there.
Well, some of those people in there are not here.
Yeah.
They moved out. They're doing something else or retired.
Yeah.
So there's not many left from the original, like the original group or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is Bob Tuma sitting right here, overlooking that ocean that fed the family for
right.
so many years.
Still there doing it.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's getting skimpier all the time.
You're right.
Yeah.
I
it
heard
is.
that.
Yeah.
Heard it. Mr. Tuma, would you allow me to take a break?
Sure.
Thank you. Guys, we'll be back. Get a little fish from the...
Contact our conference center now.
On the American Dream Show, Montauk fishing legend Bob Tuma. He doesn't think he is a fishing legend, but we do. So, Mr. Tuma, I am so sorry, that's it.
I've just been here too long, that's all.
I read the book, The Pelican, and also had on the show the man who wrote the book, The Pelican, Tom Clavin. And so I know what happened in the 50s. There was a very tragic accident, and you were there.
I was there, yeah.
There around when it happened.
Yeah, it was off North Bar, what we call North Bar, which is just inside the lighthouse. There was a buoy there, but they've taken the buoy out now. And fellows, I guess they were drifting there, and everybody was on one side. And a wave came and tipped them up a little bit. Nobody moved. The next wave came and just tipped them over. So there was 50, 60 people in the water.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
It was a mess.
Yep.
I remember when I read the book that they had pulled people out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
And
Sure.
many of them were dead. There were very little who were saved,
That's right. Yeah.
And I've also seen the pictures. In the old Gossman's Ice House, they put the people, because they had to save them somewhere.
That's right. Had to stack them up.
and they did it.
Yeah.
They did it. That was very tragic.
Yeah, it was.
Very tragic.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that Gossman's didn't like it, but what were they supposed to do? They had to help.
Somebody had to do something.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember the old Mary Gossman, Mrs. Mary Gossman?
Oh, of course.
When she started first?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
That was just a little shack.
Well, the shack, right?
Yeah, real shack.
Did you eat some of her rolls? Well, you remember what she used to make, the clam chowder and the rolls?
Well, yeah, she had that, but early in the mornings, there was a marina right in front.
Yeah.
And people would get their breakfast there. And it would come out on a plate, and you just keep passing it around, you know, until it hit the right fella.
Yeah. So you remember her when she started, huh?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
That Mary Gossman, she certainly had a vision.
Sure did.
You know, and look at this imperium now, yeah?
Yeah.
Mr. Tuma, would you say that the fishing industry changed since the Pelican, that it became different, it became more difficult for a while to get people to come out?
Gee, I don't really know.
Don't know.
I imagine it did for a while, but that kind of wears off fast, you know.
Right. And what would you say is different between fishing in the 50s and 60 years later?
Oh, my gosh. Well, it's the same kind of fish, but there's fewer of them. There are different spots. You know, today, with electronics and everything, we used to have to use rangers on the beach. We'd line up that glass with that cup, and that's where the spot was.
Yeah.
But today, everything's on a machine.
Yeah.
So you punch in the numbers, and you get right on top of where you want to go.
Do you know how to use those machines?
Sure.
Oh, so you adjust it along the line.
Have to, yeah.
You have to?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So all those fancy schmancy machines which you are using or they are using today, you know how to use too in the meantime.
Yeah, of course.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And you're still going fishing or not anymore?
Very little. This year's, I was kind of backing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you went through some tough times.
I have a problem getting around on a boat now, too, you know, my
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah.
And if you're not stable, you know, and then the boats are not stable. They're rocky.
They're rocking. You really have. That's the reason why when the fishermen, after a week out on sea, when they came home, they walked so funny, right?
Sure.
Because they had to be steady first.
Yep.
Yes. And you know what I was also wondering is, during the hurricanes, or let's say it this way, bad storms, when there were bad storms, has there ever been a situation where you thought, wow, this was really, really dangerous, and you were in a storm? And you didn't tell your wife about it because...
Well, some of those storms come up pretty fast.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you are. You know, how far you're away or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the boats are pretty good, and And if you just take your time, take it easy, they'll always bring you home.
Don't panic, right?
Don't panic, right?
You can't panic.
No.
Yes, because I watched the movie, The Great Storm. Oh, that is when I told my son I really didn't want him to become a fisherman because I was so scared.
Yeah.
After
Well, it
that
depends
movie.
on what kind of fishing they're doing and where they're fishing and everything else, you know.
What's your favorite fish to go after?
Well, now everybody wants striped bass.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and there's fishing's pretty good right now also.
tastes very good.
Well, that's a matter of, you know.
What's your favorite fish? What do you like to eat best?
Oh, I like the little fish.
The little, like the herring or?
No, like porgies or something like that.
Porgies,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like bluefish.
You like,
People
me
don't-
too.
Yeah.
Why is that people don't like, or some people don't like bluefish? I love
Yeah,
bluefish.
it has more taste.
And you know what? It is so much healthier.
Sure.
That's what they're saying. So are they all stupid?
I don't know.
We don't know, right? It's just, maybe it's just a fashion thing.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because also, a friend of mine started to smoke bluefish.
Uh-huh. They're good smoked.
Oh, they are so delicious. I couldn't
Yes,
believe it.
yeah.
Now, what about eels? You obviously, there are certain things which you can catch best with eels, right?
Well, they use, everything will take an eel. But people that use them, especially if they're night fishing, they use eels.
Yeah. Okay. Why is that? Because they move?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
And maybe the eels come out more at night. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. But eels work great.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But where do you catch them? You have to catch them
You have
first.
to buy those.
You have to buy them.
Yeah, so that's another business.
Yeah.
Somebody catches eels.
So it's amazing how the fishing industry is basically supported, fed by other businesses,
Oh, sure.
and
oh,
then
yeah.
supporting the families of the fishermen.
Sure.
So if that fishing business would diminish, go basically down the drain, this would affect a lot of other businesses.
Well, things change and more boats jump in, you know. The fellas getting older like myself, I'm backing out.
Yeah,
And there's young fellas that jump right in and continue right on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Tuma, who was your favorite fishing partner? Somebody that you would say, you know what, that person, was there such a person at all that you would say that person knew how to fish?
Well, we don't fish at all ourselves.
Yeah,
The people that we take out fish.
yeah.
And we normally would love to get swordfish.
Yeah.
We used to get quite a few swordfish because they kind of disappeared now too. You know, so it's a tough
So
situation.
was there a crew that you would say, yep, there was a crew which knew how to fish?
Well, if it was a good day, a particularly calm day where you could see fins on top of the water, we'd go by ourselves, you know.
Yes.
And we'd harpoon them.
You harpoon them.
Yeah.
Wow, like the man in the sea. Mr. Tuma, they want me to take a break, but when we come back after the break, you have to tell me about all the fish you ship to New York.
Oh.
Please.
I have no idea what that would be. How many?
Thanks for staying with us in our little living room or studio, I shall say, here at Gurney's Inn overlooking the ocean with Mr. Bob Tuma. Bob Tuma is a man everybody in Montauk, Long Island knows. He's one of our local fishing legends. We know he doesn't like the term, but we're going to say it anyway. And his daughter Debbie made a fine movie, film
Yep.
about all the local fishermen.
Yeah.
Which actually got a very good rating in
That
the Long
went over
Island.
so big
Yeah,
that the bartender, they only put 2 bartenders down, and the people were spilling out the door, you know, for that affair that she started there.
can you believe it?
Yeah.
So you must be very proud of her.
Oh, yeah.
That she did
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is sure cool. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Now, not so cool is the situation the fishermen, I mean, we all are facing, but especially the fishermen are facing in regards to gas. They have to
Oh.
gas up their boats, and their gas is even more expensive than ours.
Well, most of the boats today are diesel.
Diesel, okay.
Some of the smaller private boats are still gas.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you put in 100 gallons of fuel
Yeah.
at $5 a gallon,
That's $500.
yeah, and you go out
Yeah.
and you don't catch anything and come back,
Yeah.
what's the answer to that?
You are $500 in the depth.
Yep.
Not counting the insurance. I bet the insurance for these boats
Oh,
are...
of course.
Yes?
Sure.
Yeah. And then I was told that the captains and the crews have to go through all kinds of tests, right? What kind of tests are those?
Well, they're tests that show that you know what you're doing, you know, how to handle a boat and how to get around. Yeah, we just came from New York, let's see, a week ago to upgrade our license.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Boy. Now, I was told that you are still fixing all kinds of stuff around the house, on trees, on roofs, you name it.
Yeah, well, I like to do that, but I don't walk that well anymore, so I can't do a lot of it.
Yes, but
Yeah.
you like still to do your own,
I like to do it, yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
fixing a lot of things.
yeah.
But when all these fishermen, the other day I called your house and there was the captain of the Windy.
Oh, yeah.
He was at
Jack
your house.
Passy.
Jack Passy.
Yeah.
Jack Passy is, I think he is the president of the organization of the fishermen or boat
Well, that.
captains.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I met Jack a while ago, and he said, remind me sometimes a little bit of you. You know, I would consider you guys not only as fishing for living, but I think you guys are
Well,
also...
it's fun.
I was just going to say, you are
Yeah.
also what we call fishaholics.
Right. Yeah.
You must fish.
Yeah. Right.
You can't help it, right?
Well, you have some people that continue every year, once a year, some 10 times a year, and you get to know these people. You know.
Yeah.
It's like another family.
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about surf casting compared to being on a boat?
I don't know anything about surf casting.
No.
I don't do any of it.
You think it's for...
Well, exercise.
I see.
But they do catch.
They
you
do
know.
catch?
Oh, yeah.
But you think it's...
But not like we catch.
So it's half measures, right?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Like, this
Yeah.
is for people who don't know about fishing.
Yeah, right.
This
yes.
kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that. I see that.
sure.
And I also see that the surf casters at the lighthouse, in front of the lighthouse, they stand on the rocks, yeah, in their waders, sometimes in the water, and or on these slippery rocks, and I'm getting so scared when I see them.
I know.
Oh, that is dangerous. If
Yes.
they slip on the rocks, why can't they just go on a boat and be safe?
Well, it's they're surf casters, you know.
Yeah.
But if they do fall and they fill up the waders with
Ah.
water, that's a done deal.
Yeah. So that is very dangerous.
Yeah.
That is something what people really sometimes
Yeah.
don't consider.
I thought they were going to stop them from casting off there.
Yeah, I hope
One
so.
time.
I hope they did.
Yeah.
You see, my son was just at home. Our younger son, Dominic, he was just home for a week. He lives in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, he's fishing down there. He is one of those fishaholics. But he was fishing for 1 week. He's a newlywed. The poor wife, he had a fish. Nothing what he can do. He had a fish. He was home in Montauk, and boy, did we eat a lot of striped bass,
Yeah.
tuna he got us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he even wanted to go porgy fishing the last day, but I think then she would have divorced him, so he said no. They didn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Mr. Tuma, living in Montauk changed very much. It's not the same anymore.
No.
You were there when the post office was at a different spot than it is
Oh,
today.
sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. All those roads have changed.
Yeah.
All the buildings have changed.
Yeah.
The only thing that stayed the same was the beach.
The beach.
Yeah.
What about Shag Ones? You remember when Shag Ones, many, many years
You
ago?
mean the restaurant?
Yes, the bar, Shag
The
Ones.
bar, yeah,
Yeah?
sure. Yeah.
And that was I think that's there quite many years,
Oh,
right?
long time,
Long
yeah.
time,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, that's a real old place.
And that's one of the places where the fishermen all used to hang out and probably still
Well, there weren't
do.
too many places around anyway, you know.
Yeah. What about the Whites? White's Pharmacy. Is that still on the same place?
Yes, same,
Yes?
same place, yeah.
Same place it
Yeah.
used to play. And there was Dan Ratina's father. We used to own it at one point.
Yes,
Yeah?
yeah.
Remember that?
Yes. They used to live across the street from us.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a little kid, you know.
So you know Dan as a little kid?
Yeah.
How fun is that? Yes, but I guess then he was not wearing that funny hat he is
No,
wearing,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
Now he is a famous publisher.
I know he is, yeah.
And but he still loves Montauk like no other place. What do you think about all those famous people moving into Montauk?
Well, they build houses here, and they, you know, I guess they like it. They're not here year-round, most of them.
Yeah.
They're just here in the summers.
Maybe that's good.
Yeah.
Then we at least have our peace and
We
quiet
get
in
a-
the winter.
We get a break.
You get a break.
Yep.
Yes. And in the summer months, we are happy to take their money, right? And in the winter months, they are going home.
Yeah. Well, they come out here for golf and whatever's, you know.
Oh, many fisher people there.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
if people who want to go fishing.
Yeah.
Or want to be fishermen and,
Yeah.
you know, or think they are
Or
fishermen.
try it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is there still a place where you know there is fish and nobody else knows about?
No,
No?
no,
That doesn't exist anymore.
no.
Because I have to tell you, we did a big fundraiser for one of our local fishermen who passed away, Mr. Fagan.
Mm-hmm.
And at that fundraiser, there came this gentleman with 600 clams, which he had dug up himself. Anybody remembers his name? Anybody can help me out? I get it in a moment. He is also on the board of the Montauk Friends of Erin. Joey Blocker.
Oh, Joe
Yes,
Blocker,
Joey.
yeah.
He had dug up himself 600 clams, brought them, everybody could eat them, chucked them himself with his buddy.
Yep.
And listen to this, when I said to him, Joey, where in good heaven did you get these 600 clams? And he looked at me and he said, Ingrid, if I'm going to tell you that, I have to shoot you. So, even if he would know if there's any spot, he sure wouldn't tell us.
No. Well, you know, clams, the more you dig them, the better it is.
True.
Yeah, it makes them grow better.
They reproduce, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, everybody, you had the wonderful fortune of meeting here on television a Montauk fishing legend, and that is Mr. Bob Tuma, and we will love you forever, Mr.
Thank
Tuma.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the show.